Yeah, yeah. And there wasn't any like I was like, where was that? You didn't
Yeah, and I
record it.
thought it was recording in the background, but who knows? It's iPad. Anyway, we're live now. I'm showing red, so I think we should
Hmm.
go. We are good to go. So, what is this? Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, good. It's the entire world. It's Bantu TV. My name is Kalinda Shachinda, right here in the Hoosier state of Indiana, and the city is Indianapolis. So, Uh, welcome to our podcast this Sunday, the 20th of April,
Hmm.
10 days before my birthday. I must
Ooh,
add that. Back to
ooh,
you. Do your
nice.
vuvuzelas like you always do every Sunday.
Well, happy birthday. Though it's in advance, but yeah, Chanda Chilufya calling or broadcasting all the way from Canada, Ontario, and we're here to discuss trending topics that have been bothering most of us Zambians, and we don't have answers to them, and we're saying, look, why don't we engage ourselves and try to debunk all this? So yes, we're here, and let's see what's going to happen today.
Yes, people, and you know what to do if you want to, join us live. I will post the link on our um, the board here. Just click on it and join us into our discussion today. So we have most interesting topics, and guess who? Maybe before we even start discussing, guess who is here and live and direct?
Hmm.
Right, Chilufya. Let the man himself introduce himself. Um, the deep thinker.
Kamwamba Nobuleya.
Kamwamba Vasa.
Coming, joining in from the Midwest, the St. Louis, 5 hours from Chicago. Valentine, and I'm happy to be here this Sunday.
Absolutely brilliant. So, I mean, there's no easy way to start. I mean, we just have to go with the flow. And goodness, what are our topics today? And shall we just start with the what I call the forfeitures galore this past week that we had. I mean, the other week, of course, nobody was talking about this, but I think we broke it last year, and then everybody got onto it. It's the Milingolungu forfeiture of. $24 million to the Zambian government, and on the background of that, this past week also the one and only humble former first daughter, Tasila Lungu, now Mrs. Mwansa, also lost her cinder farm finally to the Zambian government because she couldn't, basically prove how she acquired that farm. And a lot more, So the NPA, that's the National Public Association, is that the National Prosecution Agency, did announce to the world that they have recovered in the last quarter about $33 million from forfeitures. I guess that includes our 24 million. Gentlemen, it's a mouthful. Let's start from there. The forfeitures that we read about, they were it was all over the media, social, including our own, the regular media houses did cover this. What do you feel, and what's your opinion? Let's start with your deep thing. I think you have some interesting feedback to give here before we go with the one and only man of the podcast, the other one, Mr. Chanda. Deep thinker, you want to come in and tackle that?
Yes, here in the US is what we call restitution. When you steal something, it returns to the owner. But you also get arrested. So I am wondering, and I'm very confused, what is going on. They just give back the properties that they took, somebody has to explain to me why we don't have arrests. Is there an agreement between the court system and the people that took what doesn't belong to them, or or is it that in politics they forgive each other when there's wrong done or when there's a theft? I'm confused. I just need somebody to explain to me what's going on.
Well, according to the forfeiture, guidelines. So I guess these agencies, they strike into deals with these people that they suspect to have acquired wealth or money through, you know, I would say illegal means. I don't care how you look at it; it's illegal means, and they think this is the easiest way and the cheapest way to get the money back for the people. So they strike deals. I mean, I think for me, with just going with the Milingo Lungu's case, I think that man stole, more than the $24 million he gave back to the government. Because I think yesterday I was reading somewhere that Vendetta, they're actually not happy about it because, according to their records, he allegedly got away with $200 million. So if he can only give us $24 million, what about the 176 million?
Mm, mm,
What happens to that money? And
mm,
he is going to go out there and enjoy
mm,
those proceeds, collected through illegal means. Come on
mm,
now, NPA. I mean, let's be honest with these dealings that we do. I mean, the same
mm,
thing with Tasila Longo. I mean, absolutely. I mean, because you know how I get emotional just when I start looking
mm,
at these figures.
mm.
Come in, Reggie, help me out here. Maybe I'm going
Well,
on a tandem
I
as
think
always.
we need to understand how the forfeiture law and act is right now in Zambia. Um, according to me, what I know, according to other countries, the standard that they've put, when you go and strike a deal with the government to say, okay, fine, this is how much I got, but this is how much I'll give you. They only strike a deal when you got something to offer. Okay? So if there is certain important information that you're going to provide to the prosecutors, they will say, okay, fine. Okay, instead of you saving 10 years, for example, just an example, we'll strike it to 5 years with that information that you give us.
Hmm.
Okay? So that's how it should be really in a normal world. So what happens is they will say they'll strike these kind of decisions and these deals with all these criminals, and then they provide certain information to a bigger case. Okay, so if what's his name, Lungu,
Milingo.
the guy that
Hmm.
took over.
Yes, I mean, let's just specify he's the
So
former president's nephew, whatever.
so if he has some information, okay, and then the government can sit down and say, okay, fine, what information do you have for us? So I got this information, I can give you this, and I can give you this money. Okay, as long as I do not save, it depends on how the deal is structured. So looking at this, to a structure that won't save, there will be no jail time. Depending, we don't know what information they gave the state. So those are the issues that we don't know in the background what really happens. But according to what I know, you have to have certain information to give the government or give the prosecutors that's going to allow them to strike a deal and say, okay, fine, you won't save any jail time as long as you give us this, as long as you do this. So there's
Absolutely.
that. There's that.
I mean, I have a
Mm,
question there. I mean, I understand, the importance about getting information to catch a bigger guy. I understand all that. But before you structure this deal, don't they go back to these people and say, look, tell us how much you have stolen? I mean, I'm just saying, like in this
of course,
case,
they do. They do.
it's mind-boggling that if
It, it,
Bindeta is saying Milungo
yeah,
or 200, and
because
he wants
it
to give
should be
back 24 million.
disclosure. I mean, like when they're striking these deals, it's a full disclosure. You have to disclose exactly what it is or what you know. And if at one point, you come up and say, okay, fine, you gave us this information, which was very inaccurate,
Mhm.
then they can rescind. They've got the right as a government, as prosecutors, to say, no, 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 you didn't give us the full information. So they can say, no, we said you're not going to go to jail, but you're going to go to jail because you didn't give us this information, and you had the information. You see, that's how it is. That's how it works. In a
Bantu,
normal society.
Madam
Deep thinker.
Moderator,
Yes, come in, deep thinker.
I'm really confused and concerned. Why is that not extended to every ordinary Zambian to say, you have stolen cattle? We're not putting you in jail. Tell us who else is stealing. Why isn't that extended to everybody? Because
That.
as far as I know, if I steal a cow, I'm going to jail first, and it's in jail and court that we come to an agreement that release me, I'm giving you this information. I have not heard these people that are returning property going to jail. They go to court, but going to jail and crack a deal in jail and come out, unless I'm missing something.
Well, yeah, you are absolutely right because I think not too long ago, I think it was on this platform that I came and said, look, issues with all these forfeitures because why? I mean, the reason why I say so is that I give an example of my cousins in the village. If one of them decides to steal a chicken from the neighbors and he's caught, my cousin is expected to spend at least a year in jail for that one chicken. And then we have people like Milingo Lungu. He gives back $24 million. And that's just a snippet of what he stole. Because if you remember, there's also, he was arrested, was that a year ago, for what did he do? He got 300 million of KCM money, put it in his own personal account, waited 3 months, and 18 million in that of interest on that 300 million, and then he gave it back to KCM. In the meantime, we had people while he was doing this. We had ordinary Zambian, citizens losing jobs at KCM. People never got their benefits. People never got their salaries, and then you had one individual getting this money. He puts it in an account, makes 18 million, kwacha off it, and then put it back in the bank. While thousands are starving on the streets, while thousands are dying from, preventable diseases. That I have issues with still. And nobody has explained to me how far we have gone with that case on Milingo Lungu. And then now we have the first daughter, Tasila Lungu, grabbing a huge chunk of land in Cinda. And this is not just ordinary, right? It's protected land. With Mukula, trees in there. So for the 2, 3, 4 years she owned this, land, how much money did she get from selling that Mukula? All these issues, nobody's talking about them. And these are the issues that as Zambians, we need to talk about them because guess what? The $24 million Lungu gave back to the government, that translates to how much? Almost a billion kwacha now. And do we know how much money we can pump into CDF, into our hospitals, into our schools, into our roads, into every sector of the economy. To make Zambia a great. Let me steal Donald Trump. I'm sorry. Let me
Not
steal
donut, not
Donald
not
to borrow.
donut, not donut, not donut.
Ah, Donald Trump. I'm sorry. Let me just add Donald Trump's slogan: "Make Zambia great again." I know he says "Make make America great again," but we will transpose that to say "Make Zambia great again."
Mm.
Bad Chilufia. I
You
leave
know,
that to you.
you brought out a lot of big points. First of all, we need to understand. Okay, he gave out $24 million. Okay, now when you give out something, it means you're guilty of a crime. And if I can go back and what the State Council John Sangwa said, he said the whole KCM deal and whoever was involved should be arrested. Should be arrested because that was a very illegal deal. Very, very illegal. If he can say that as a state council, it means really the deal was a raw deal. And it was only going to benefit one or two people. And we know who they are. One. So, and if they come to you and say, Mona, now what I can see up. And then you say, well, now Sumina, I can give you this amount of money. But it's believed that it's actually he got away with, like you said, a lot more than that. It could be up to over $100 million. But this is what is given the state right now, 24 million.
Mm-hmm.
One. That's what he's given them. And then people are saying, family abalungu nibakabola bonse chabashani. Are they all thieves?
Of
Like,
course.
look at the daughter, two of them, the daughters, all of them. The other one you just forfeited, she just gave up her money, whatever she couldn't even prove. She's like, okay, how did you acquire this wealth? I know my father gave me the money. Oh, your father gave you money to build $1 million mansion? Wow. Okay, fine. She couldn't even justify herself. The wife as well is still in court. Okay. So we're saying like, look, the whole family, Chariapati came to win, guys. Okay. Co-winner. That's what it was. But the people of Zambia are saying, no, this is enough. We cannot allow you to just go and escape and go out there in the public, try to again to say, oh, to come and do what? They've seen that the president of Zambia, HH, is doing a good job and is laying a foundation so that a lot of people, the next coming president, can be able to reap and make sure that we build a better Zambia. But when mkuiva, oh HH, but yeah, so let into where so that we win. No. You see, that's what I'm looking at it. Ukwa, whatever they call themselves.
Mm-hmm. They're thieves.
Madam Moderator.
Yes.
I'm still back where we started. There's restitution, there's incarceration,
Mm-hmm.
there's court cases.
Yes.
What is it in our environment, in our country, that stops others from getting in jail or in cells because you've admitted that you took some money, that's why you're giving it back? Now, if you borrowed, that is different. You took which means without permission, that's where you're returning it. You had no intentions of returning it. We had to investigate. It cost an ordinary Zambian money, tax money or whatever, to pay the person investigating to find that you actually took money without permission. Why are they not put in sales like you and I would be if we took government property without permission? You can't even drive a government vehicle when you're off duty to run personal errands.
Mhm.
Why are they still free to go from home to court and back and agree to pay back? Why are they not coming from sales to court, back to sales until we figure out those things? That's all I'm wondering
Deep thinker, but
about.
that's not what the law says. The law says they investigate. Now, listen to what the president says here. I could be wrong, but I maybe come in and help. The law is clear on this. If you steal, you get investigated according to the president and the law. You get investigated. Then the police come in, they arrest you. You get more investigations done. You are released in 24 hours. You go home, and then you wait for the court process until you are found guilty. That's what the law says. And then
So
you go to prison after.
are you telling me that all these people that are returning money acquired dubiously, they have been in sales? Is that what you're telling me?
Yeah, some of them have. Some of them are just giving money. They're
We
giving it all up.
no,
After,
we're not,
yeah,
Madam Moderator. We're
yes.
not concerned about the some that have been in jail. Then we know the due process has taken place for those. What about the others?
Yes, Milingo Lugo was arrested at some point and released, waiting for due process. And every due process, he just
So,
decided to go the easy way around.
so
Because
that's not the person we're talking about.
that's who we're talking about, Milingo Lugo. That's the $24 million man,
What
as I call him.
what about Lungu's daughter?
She was also arrested
Was
and
she?
released. Yes.
Okay, then I'm good.
Yeah, she was admin and released. And then, some of them are just, once they hear the police, deck or ACC starts knocking on their door, they just give it up. Like the other second door. What's her name again? But Cheswa, whatever her name is. Or maybe I could be wrong, but correct me in the comments below. Yeah, some of them just give it all up just as soon as they hear that the police are on the way, or uh, deck or ACC, they're on the way. They just give it all up because they don't want to be, they don't want to be, yeah, they just don't want to see the inside of a prison. They don't want to be visited by the police and all those good stuff. They just give it up. I mean, in the same vein, I hope one of here's a call for me to LAS, the Law Association of Zambia. You guys know what you know the law better than I do. I don't know why you still have Milingo Lungu as your still practicing lawyer in Zambia at the moment, because here we start you giving up that amount of money. I mean, like actually, if I say that's a sign that you're guilty. They need to take his license away from him, because what message are they trying to give to the rest of the law of fraternity? Uh, uh, Deep thinker and Ratcliffe.
I don't have
Should
it. I don't.
should Lars visit Milingo Lungu and take away his license, just like what they did to his uncle, Mr. Edgar Chagwalungu? That
I
would be
Of
my
think.
next
course,
question.
of course.
I,
I mean,
I think.
that's a given. I mean, there's no way you can be involved in such kind of scandals and be a lawyer at the same time. Of course, there's certain rules and regulations that are followed, and you must be strict of your license once you are found in these kind of situations. So obviously that's a given. I don't think it can be anything other than that. To be honest, I'll be surprised if he doesn't lose his license. He will definitely lose his license because just one thing, the KCM deal itself was one thing. Okay, that's something else, and then him being a lawyer is another thing now. Okay, so they may not announce it now, but obviously they will go and say, look, we'll hear obviously in the next coming few weeks to say, we're going to disbar you because of your practices, which were, unprofessional and unethical for being a lawyer. You cannot involve yourself in such kind of deal.
That's right, and I hope that will come to pass soon and not later. Lars, I'm directing at these words to you. Who is eating right here? I can hear somebody having a sumptuous meal. I know it's 2 o'clock. Somebody is eating. Who is?
Never did think about it yet.
It's
All right.
no, no. Can I respond to about the law association?
Yes, go ahead, Deep Thinker.
I think sometimes I mean HH is very methodical in the way he does things. We
Mm-hmm.
cannot jump to taking away the license until investigations are done.
What investigation? He's already
But
guilty.
but Chirufya said he probably is working with the government to get other people.
Oh, all
That's a
right.
yeah, yeah.
Okay.
That's how it works. Like, look,
All
they
Yeah,
don't just
right.
strike deals.
yeah,
They don't just strike deals like that. There's
yeah.
something that they're going to get at the end of it. It may look like a loss for the country. That, oh wow, why is he not going to jail? And why did he just give out 24 million? But what information is he? Because it's a two-way thing. You give us information that we want, and this is what we're gonna give you. So obviously the deal was you won't go to jail,
Yeah.
but if you give us what we want in terms of information on certain bigger fishes, certain bigger people that have acquired wealth that are unimaginable, like they were like, he'd be like, okay, fine, I can give you that information. Okay, fine, give us that
So
information, and then
so
there are certain
so
deals. Hmm.
so in short, you don't kill somebody because you have killed the evidence as well. You kill after you got all the evidence.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but I
All
think
right.
we have comments. We have people they're trying to comment and stuff like that. You can highlight them, Kalinda.
Oh
Yeah.
yes. Okay, let's bring in who is this? Kelly's is that Chombo? And he says, or she says, indeed, Lungu's family are all millionaires, and there's no any other Zambian president who had his family richer than Lungu's family. Some ruled many years than him, but why? Please open our eyes to check this out. And people are busy supporting him. Alebwe de la Poor for what? Rooting out the taxpayers' money, gassing, and sex just like that. Oh my goodness.
Mhm.
What a comment there. What a comment, Kelly. Thank you so much. Anybody wants to ride on that comment before I think we need to move to the next topic? Because today my plan is really we need to stay on to the 1 hour window.
Of
Um,
course, yeah. No,
yeah.
Vakelis has hit the nail on the head, and everybody else that if you got comments, you got things to say, just put your comments there, and we'll highlight it, and everybody will be able to read what you're thinking or feeling. Join the podcast and let's discuss. Of
Yeah,
course.
join the podcast, and you definitely have put in the link here. Wherever you are, you can just click on our link, and that will bring you into our studios. Yeah, moving on along. Oh my goodness! Has anyone read this? What I call the East assist? What's it? Oh God, I have a difficult time pronouncing them. You know, Swaziland changed. What's the new country? What's the new name for Swaziland? To me, Swaziland is better than what's the
What,
East Swaz?
Lesotho?
Is
Which
that
one?
Lesotho?
Eswatini?
Eswatini, whatever they're calling themselves. So
Oh.
It's
I call them
Eswatini.
Ehad because there is a man who lives there. He knows how to pronounce it better than we do. So I call it the Eswatini X Files. They've been going around social media implicating our former president again. Like Mr. Kellins Chombo has said, everything, the bag stops at Etika Chagwa Lungu. So now it makes sense why he was all over Eswatini every other week or every other weekend, and all those dancings and the regalia that he was wearing from the king. So so he's implicated in a corrupt. Again, allegation out in Eswatini involving him, his close allies and friends, and also they are also involving millions. There are mansions that have been bought or built in Eswatini on behalf of Mr. Lung. Gentlemen, I don't even want to go into details. For me, all I'm saying is what an embarrassment. What do you have to say about the revelation from the African report on our former president? Let's start with you, uh, Bachanda. I'm sure you have read more on this. What do you
Well,
take? What's your takeaway from the
my take
revelation?
is this. Of course, we need to understand. Like, look, uh, all know this was in the background. Like, it's been in social media, and it's been in speculation for all these years. The time that Valung went to Swaziland, that time it was believed that he was given some sort of land and some sort of, whatever it was, he was given something, and then in exchange, I don't know what he gave, but we all know that it was, as a president of a republican country,
Mm-hmm.
you cannot involve yourself in things like that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you cannot go and gain wealth or trying to get something on a personal level.
Mm-hmm.
So we all knew there was something there, but now it's coming out, and we all know that. Look, when he visited there, he obviously was trying to build. I hear it's a big mansion. There's some homes, whatever it is. I don't know the extent of that corruption. But if the current government of Eswatini are coming out and saying, look, this is what when he came here, this is what he had or what
Mm-hmm.
he has, and this is how he got it,
Mm-hmm.
and it's definitely an illegal move.
Mm-hmm.
So those are the things that, gonna lead him here. Like, look, you're trying to come back when you've got a lot of baggage. If I was him, I would just sit back at home, relax, and just stay quiet. Because I know that I've done a lot of things, and I don't want people to know that I did this here. Because these things will be coming out. I mean, how many things? Like, how many where? Rwanda, everywhere. There are mentions of him owning malls, you know, in the Middle East. So he needs to take his temperature first of all, and say, look, let me sit down. Let me just sit quiet. But he wants to come out like a champion. That's the only big problem. He wants to come out like a champion. I say, okay, fine. If you want to come out like a champion, then things will be revealed. So before 2026, that you're crying to say you want to come back, you don't even reach 2026 before you have a lot of cases upon you.
Yeah, that's right. Oh, deep thinker, come in on this one, please. Come and help my bogged down brain.
Uh, don't crack your brain so much here, because I'm sure the Eswatini government and the Zambian government uh, have already shared intelligence on this, and all I can do is wait for a statement from the government about it, because in the past, in the
Mhm.
past, there was an allegation, I think, about Lungu having a shopping complex somewhere in Uganda or something, and nothing was heard after that. So I'm just waiting for the Zambian government to make a statement on that and verify that information, whether true or not.
Right, right. Well, yeah, I guess. No, actually, I'll say the government has a statement through Charles Milupi. Did anyone see Charles Milupi's statement from in that's our next topic actually. When he was in Western Province, where he's challenging the former president to tell the nation where he found the money to invest in Eswatini. Isn't that uh, isn't that government's position? I mean, Charles Milupi is infrastructure and housing minister. I mean, he's high up there, so he
I, th-
must know one or two things.
I think by government I meant the judicial system.
Oh,
Uh,
great.
yeah,
Okay. All right.
because
All right then.
probably Milopi made that statement as a political statement.
Well, any statement is welcome. Politics or no politics.
Don't crossfire Lungu before there is evidence now.
But this is a report by the Eswatini government. It's not us. This report is coming directly from the government of Eswatini. I mean, they wouldn't implicate him if they know nothing. Because let's remember, yesterday, Lungu was the most prized guest of honor in Eswatini every other weekend. Let's not forget that.
I,
Just
I
putting it
understand
out there.
that. I understand that. You know, I can be a professional thief,
All right.
and the community can judge me as a professional thief, but
Mm-hmm.
I don't end up in jail. So on my record, I'm not a thief.
All right.
On
All
Mm,
record, I'm
right.
not a
mm,
thief, really.
mm,
Back to Lufia.
mm.
Your
Yeah, yeah.
comment on the deep thinkers sessions right now.
No, well, the thing is this. Valungu, that man, I'm telling you the truth. Like I said, like he needs to step down and just sit and relax because things that are going to come up, he won't be able to explain. Okay, clearly. I mean, just look at the whole family itself, Mama. And there's so many things. There's situations here, both here, there. We have now reached at the point where Zambians are really smart. They're like, oh wow, we cannot bring back a leader that's going to take from us. We want a leader that's going to give and find solutions for problems. And that's what HH is doing right now. So I've been driving, but they're just looking at HH like, look, no matter how bad the economy is, no matter how things are,
Mm-hmm.
you know, because of the wars. In fact, there's another war that's happening right now. That's obviously going to make things even worse. But what are we doing as a country? Okay, so we now looking at winter maize. We don't have to rely or wait for the rains. We have to rely on winter maize, which means we can plant your maize before, and they have the variety that we call the early maturing variety, where you can harvest it in within 3-4 months. Mama, mwaita pirisha fe, pum pum. You even start selling it kwa FRA. They give you the money right on spot. Takuli no mbafika you have to wait 1 year before you get your money. They give you the money right there and then. Okay, so that's what it is. I think I've got into a different topic.
Oh yeah, I think we're done on this. Let's move on. Now,
Can I make a comment on that?
yes.
As long as the Constitution does not bar Lungu for whatever crimes he committed, and the court system has not declared anything, he has the right to run as a Zambian. You both know how I feel about Lungu, but he has the right to run.
No,
And
he
he
has
has the
no
right
right to
to have.
run for a third term. I don't care how people sugarcoat it.
No, you and I know he shouldn't.
I'm
But
just
what
saying.
I'm
I'm
saying
not
is,
putting it out. That's how I think. I mean,
but what I'm saying, if the instruments of government do not present that information to where he's stopped, we can have a conversation all day long.
Yeah,
That means
you
it's
know
going to
what?
be
One funny
left to
thing
the
is
will
this.
of the people.
Yeah, one funny thing about deep thinker is I was just that time when he was coming out of court and he saw this a crowd outside. He thought they were there to worship him and stuff because he likes to be worshipped. Only to realize it's the students they were protesting against him. I was shocked. He was coming out looking humble, it's like this. No, tumawoko. It was. And then when he realized after some time, he started hearing, they told him, are they here to see me? No, no, no. They're here to protest. You know? So that's how he moved quickly. Boom, the young, the youth, the students, everybody, they don't want him to come back.
But the instruments of government, they're not stopping that. Because think about it this way about Chilufi. The reason there are protests is because the people feel that there's nothing stopping this person from doing what they are doing. That's why people protest. If the Constitution was clear to say Lungu cannot run, clear, those youth would not go to High Court to protest. They are protesting because they know that the High Court probably is not going to say anything about Lungu not running. When you think about it, when the Constitution comes short of the expectations of the people, that's where you get a protest.
yeah, I mean, good thinker, you really bring out valid points there. But I think the question now is for the constitutional court to really, put. I'm so sorry, judges, but I'm just gonna put it out there to put your big girls or big boys' panties, and for once, be brave and tell the Zambian people where the court stand on this issue on the eligibility of the former president and what the constitution says. We need a final interpretation on it. And let me just, I mean, I've never met that young man who took the case to the constitutional court for further, adjudication on it. What's his name? Chizombwe or something like that. Evans or whatever his name is. Thank you very much. So hopefully this time around, and I'd like to think that our judges are fair and just, as opposed to the rumors that we used to hear in the past. I'm just putting it out there. So I hope, and I hope against hope that this time around they do just and the right thing by our people. Back to Sophie. I know you wanted to say something. I could hear you murmuring in the background there.
Yeah, no, but the boy is brave. I mean, it's a brave student, and for him to step up to the table and to the plate and challenge, that was brave for him. But of course, we need to understand that. Look, the laws have been made already, and if there's a president's in terms of how they looked at that issue that time, there's no way another court can come and say no, that was a bad ruling because it was already been set. So that's where the problem is. So even if you ask, even if when I was listening to State Council John Sango was saying like, look, me myself personally, I wanted to challenge this, and I did, but the court, constitutional court itself, they ruled to say he's eligible to stand. So there's no way in hell where I can just come up and say, no, they've already ruled it's a standard now. That's how it is. And everybody will be following that standard in that ruling, even other presidents in other cases in a going future. So, effort Panumba. But the big point we need to understand is this. Despite him being eligible, we need to start thinking about the character of an individual. What Valungu is individual, his character, what is he going to bring to the table? What issues, if we vote him back into power, what is he going to bring that's different from what the current government is doing or what HH is doing? That's what we need to ask.
Can I
Yeah.
answer that?
Yeah.
I would like to answer that too.
Okay, go for it, deep thinker. Oh, come on, yo.
But look here,
Mm,
what you have just brought up right there
mm,
is a UPND's campaign point.
mm,
That's what we campaigning because we in UPND, we don't want Lungu to run. We don't want him to win.
mm,
We don't have control over whether he should run or not. But we have control over messaging to make sure that he doesn't win.
mm, mm, mm,
So that's a campaign point,
mm,
what you brought up.
mm, mm,
But at the end of the day, the Zambian people are going to decide on their own. We can
mm.
campaign all we want, but if he gets more votes than our president, so be it.
All
That's very true.
right. Did we lose him? Deep thinker?
No,
No,
it's,
I'm
it's,
here.
Oh,
I
you're
was just
done. Oh, goodness. Oh, now here comes the Kada in me. Answering to what question. Well, here's what Mr. Lungu will bring to the Zambian people. He will bring more poverty, more misery, more pain, more gassing, more what do they used to call those people? The violence on the streets. He will bring more corruption, more drunkenness in the country, more everything of the bad that we saw in the last 10 years the PF were in government. That's the Kada in me responding to Bachilufia's answer or question or statement, so to speak. So,
what about the moderator in you?
the moderator in me is saying, let's move on to the next topic, shall we?
of course.
All right, and now this one is. I don't even know where. I mean, you guys can just start from wherever you want to start. So everybody witnessed the Kuomboko ceremony in Western Province, and of course, first of all, let's just start with how it all started. And it started with the announcement or the pronouncement that the guest of honor was going to be Mwenelubemba Chitimukulu at this year's Komboka ceremony. And then on the background of that, we saw the Ukwa people jumping on that and going to bed on. Okay, I guess that's me bringing these people that are just coming on. Our resident PS finally decided to come on here. And we have Mr. Eston Shamomba. Welcome, gentlemen, to the podcast. So our resident PS will did I add him on here? Yes. Let me start with Eston. Welcome to the Bantu TV podcast, my brother. Where are you joining us from? And we are in the process of talking about of course, we just went through the forfeitures of Milingo Lungu and the other Lungu kids, and of course the allegations from Eswatini about Mr. Lungu's corrupt involvement there. Please introduce yourself, and you can jump on any topic that you want to talk about. Eston Chimomba. Okay, we move on. Our resident.
You're watching from Shivunji.
My people in the background, or in the house. Thank you, my brother. So, do you have any comments on? Oh, stop it, Deep Thinker. Do you have any comments on what we just talked about? On the forfeitures and the corrupt charges against the former president. Oh, we lost him. Now, back to... Oh, we lost him. I hope he comes back on our resident PS by Chanda Kazia. He was here for just a moment. I guess then we move on to the... shall we move on to the Barros? Yeah, I was talking about the Barros. So anyway... where was I? So anyway, so with the pronouncement of Mwenelubemba Chitimukulu as the guest of honor, of course, we saw our Uka opposition leaders and members jumping on the bandwagon here. Where now they were saying, "Oh, the president is not invited. This event is close to him. Why is he here? Why is he here?" So maybe before you gentlemen ask, shall we bring back? I guess our resident PS is finally here again. Bakazia, welcome to the podcast. Oh, our resident PS, what is he doing? Our resident PS, welcome to the podcast. Bachanda Kazia.
Mwenfu mushani. Opombuli.
I mean, he's here. I don't know what's. Oh,
you might. I think he's having problems. Obviously.
I can say. I think he's at a park. Or he's having a jolly good time. From what I can see, I mean, for a little video that he showed us. Anyway, shall we then go back to the Barros? What I call is basically a fiasco. You know, I mean, based on what happened with those kids, that the what you call them, the anti.
Hello.
Oh, here comes the resident. Welcome to the podcast. Like Bachanda said, our resident PS.
How are you people? How are you?
What's happening? Look at Bachanda. Have you seen what the Diffic has done? Look at his.
But Diffic is good on live now.
Yes,
I was waiting.
He's ready for war.
The PS to come because I had been holding it for you. Now I give it back to you. I hand it over to you.
Yes.
welcome. And you can, I'm pretty sure you've been listening in the background. You can join in any of the comments that you want to
No, actually,
jump
I
on
haven't.
here.
You see, the advantage today is that I haven't been listening. I've been trying to get in, so I've missed a lot of the discussion when you started. So I haven't heard
Oh,
any.
okay, yeah, now we are talking about the Barroso fiasco with the things that went down there. The president, we had people that were saying the president was not invited or he was invited, and then we saw the thunderous welcome that the president was given. And I mean, for me, really, I didn't see any reason why people would go to church to state that the president was not welcomed at this year's Kuomboka ceremony. Why are we as a people now politicizing our traditional ceremonies? I think let's start from there. We'll start with you, my resident PS. I'm pretty sure you have some more insight to that.
What I think is, you see, okay, for me, first of all, I had the issues, from maybe I had too much of my civil service expectations on that invitation, because I was hoping that when the president is in attendance, he usually has to be the guest of honor. You can't. That's what we know. It's like even if he shows up unannounced, once he comes up, he takes over. That is what I've known all the years. So knowing that the president was not invited, my gut feeling, and I even told, I think when some of my discussions, that he shouldn't have gone there. That's number one. Number two, okay, he is there, and now he has been given a thunderous welcome. I didn't like it that the microphone, someone tampered with it. That the president will be speaking and the microphone is off. That one, I've not seen that. Other than that, I think it is how usually in the politics you take their course in terms of, okay, who was invited, who was not invited, and what should happen, who should do. No, the rest have become a little bit of politics in terms of how people look at that. But for me, it has to be, usually we need to do it slightly better to make sure that we don't have the president show up and then there is confusion who is the guest of honor, who is what. If the president was not well and good, he would have sent his apologies, or he would have sent other people like he has done in other ceremonies. So that is what I can say on that fiasco. I think it could be handled better, but yeah. So that's what I see.
Right on. I'm pretty sure the man who showed his visuals for 1 minute has an answer to that ready for you, deep thinker.
Okay.
Welcome, PS.
Thank you, Adipti.
I'm really concerned about a lot of things. One, when we have a conversation about uh, chiefs, kings in Zambia being on government payroll, that's number one. Number two, the government recognizing that the chiefs, the kings, are the custodians of Zambian culture or tribal cultures, however you want to put it that way. I don't see why we would say the politics are not involved in the traditional ceremonies. Number two, I'm very disappointed with the, I don't know whether to call them PF or UKA, people that were saying the president must not go there. How are you going to put in your 2 cents in where the president can go in his country? Number three, the decision as to whether the president should attend or not is for the Leonica himself. If Leonica says you can't come, HH wouldn't have gone.
Yes.
So why are you trying to limit where the president goes in the country that he is presiding over? I'm confused.
Mm.
I'm very, very confused.
Okay, let me just come in here real quick. I think we need first of all, before we even go any further, we need to start of all and read our history. What is Barose land? Okay, because that's the key thing. That's everybody's want to know. What is Barose land and how, where, and when? Okay, so we all know that once upon a time, though there was a land called Barose land that had a king that presided over almost half of the western side of the Zambian country. Okay, but that was before independence. Now, there were some agreements to say, let's all unite, because there was Northern Rhodesia, Southern Rhodesia, and there was obviously Barosha land. Everybody came together. You can correct me if I'm wrong, but according to my information that I have, Northern, Southern, Barosha land, everybody decided to say, no, it's going to be called Zambia. We're going to be united. Okay? But of course, there were, the Barosha land had its own king, King Luonika. There were a lot of influence and all that stuff. But once the agreement reached to that stage to say will be now called Zambia, that's what I mean. That's what when the president was saying that there's no country called Barose land. That's what he was trying to say. Because everybody, when they sat on the table, they said, no, we're going to be called Zambia. Okay, they didn't say no. Zambia will be just northern in all these other countries, and us in the Western province, we, of course, we will still continue calling ourselves a different. No. That wasn't the case. So that's where these boys, the BRE, they call them the Barosiland Establishment Youth. They're coming out now. They call themselves the nationalists. They're trying to convince or confuse the people's minds. And I don't think, in my 100% mind, that the king himself has endorsed what they're saying. He has not endorsed it. I believe it 100%. I don't think so. But them themselves, they're coming out, trying to look like, the champions. But what you have to understand that, look, President is a custodian of this land called Zambia. He is the current custodian. There's no way you can start him.
So maybe I
You see what I'm saying? Like that's where the confusion is, because there's no way that small little group can come up and start dictating where the president can go, where the president can move, or what he should do. Who are you? Okay, you got a president, the whole country. He presides over the whole country. Okay, and you, a small little group, you think that you can tell him what to do? Are you
maybe I need to
serious?
bring some context to some of the things that Deep Thinker said and what you have said. Now, you see, the president is governed by certain legal provisions that have not been changed. That is one of the things you have to understand, Deep Thinker. For instance, there is a lot of statutory control of where the president should go, how the president should move, what the president should eat, who should prepare the food for the president, how the security detail must be done, who must be. So there is everything that is lined up. And when you depart away from that, it at times creates a confusion that you see. It's not that someone wants to dictate where the president should go. because there is a governing principle on how the president, where he wants to go, is supposed to be done. So if you do not do those things, the result is what you see. Is what you see. You can't have. That's why I say in the civil service, and maybe it is my heart of a civil servant that is being put on. When the president comes at a function, whether I've invited him or not, he takes the high role. He takes it. That is how our constitution has been grafted. That is how the civil service and the public service rules have been grafted. If we move away from that, because you don't want to give leverage to boys like those that were, ranting over what was they saying, I was pretty upset about that, because we can't allow such kind of thing to happen. As regards to what and the way I'm saying about Barroso and now, most of us that have done history before, we know about how this thing came about. We know, but then we also know what challenges in the implementation of that the governance of Barroso has been. So it is a question of sitting down.
Hold that thought about our resident PS. Let me bring in somebody who's just joined us. Mr. Mwinga Hawia, please introduce yourself and just where are you joining us from? And we are talking right this minute. The discussion is centered around Barroso Land. Mr. Mwinga, please come in and share your thoughts. Mr. Mwinga? All right. Rest and PS. Yeah, proceed, please.
No, anyway, that is what I wanted to put across.
All right.
May I respond to the
yes,
PS?
I was just coming to you. I could feel the lips in the background. They are moving left, right, and center. Deep thinker, please come in. And just let my people in Shikatende and Lugwalo village enjoy your thoughts on this.
Yeah, I'm going to represent the people in Lugwalo. So, but PS, I understood what you said, and you are absolutely right. The itinerary for the president need to be followed, because he is not only the president of UPND, he's the president of every Zambian.
Yes.
And if something happens to him, it doesn't matter you PF, you whatever you are, Zambia has lost a president. We mourn together, right? So, if you remember a few years ago, President Sata got in a car and he started driving himself. I don't know if you all remember that incident.
Yes, I do.
And his advisors followed him, and his intelligence followed him, and they kept advising him not to do that again. HH has his own advisors. PF cannot come out and say president should not go. He will just cause confusion. He has advisors that do that. So it's not like HH just looked over his shoulders, nobody's watching, and get on the plane to go to Western Province. No. They knew what was going on at some point. But it's not for the PF to tell the president what to do or what not to do. They can put it out there to say, we think he shouldn't go. You don't definitely say, don't go. I yield.
Okay.
Well,
Now,
also, but PS, first of all, we don't know the discussion that were going on between the president and the Litunga himself in the background. We have no privy to that information. So
No, we don't. No, we don't. We don't have that. We don't have that information, and that's the missing link. And of course, there's no way that like I was saying, look, he is the custodian of the Zambian land right now. Okay, Anything that happens in this land, everybody will look at him. And there's no way in hell that he would just wake up in the morning to say, I'm going to Kobuka, even if I'm not invited. Of course, he was invited. You don't know. The Lutunga himself, the king, hasn't even said they put up a statement yet. We're yet to listen to what he's going to say. But the only thing that I'm very upset about is those boys that were coming to warn the president of the country.
But I think about
that's
it, those
very
boys
that's
were
being
those
indisciplined.
boys are UCA sponsored
Yes,
sessions.
that's
That's
being very, 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 very
you see,
indisciplined. There is no way those boys are
I
very indisciplined.
no,
There's no
but
way
you
you
see,
can challenge
yeah,
a sitting president like that.
but it is very bad. Okay, I don't agree that we should now blame like that. Those are UCA sponsored.
Oh
I think
no! I mean, but PS, we look at the chronological events of what transpired this week regarding Barroso, because it started off with, because I mean, let's just be honest, it started off with those boys putting out whatever that. I don't even know how to call that statement, but really, it was a misguided statement out on social media, and you look at where those where that video visual was initially placed on. That video emanated from PF bloggers. Let's just put it out there before it spread to the rest of us.
so. Does
So
it mean
if
that?
some, yes, absolutely. Usually that's what happened. And then when it went viral, guess
Uh,
what happened?
uh,
The Uka people now came in and said, no, the president should not go over there because of these five boys who were
So,
paid a colossal amount of money to spew hate on
but,
social media.
but PS,
Mukwai.
before you come in, Madam Moderator,
Yes.
I personally don't blame the boys for this reason. Unless somebody tells me that those boys are driven by an organization that is recognized by the Zambian government, then I would blame them. Because I can go to Lugwalo and organize some boys and call ourselves the champions of the Lugwalo community and say the president cannot come here. They don't have any legitimacy in the affairs of the Zambian people.
Hmm.
For me, it's just the PF capitalizing on the information because they are a nationally recognized organization with a large following countrywide.
Deep thinker, there's something I don't agree with you. And this I must put it clear. You see, there are so many things that
Oh, here we go again.
yes, here we are coming here. You see, there are things that have originated from the UPND platform. It doesn't mean that UPND has sponsored that kind of arrangement. Unless now that is becomes a norm that when we see UPND throw out something which is negative on Uka, then we say, oh, it is UPND sponsored. For me, I think
But
those boys are just indisciplined. They are just indisciplined and they need to be dealt with. So that if they are being sponsored,
If
you can
they're
see
in the but
what is
PS, me,
the
I have issues there when you're saying it's not the PS because it's not the PF because if it's not PF, why did they accept the message? Why didn't any of the UCA presidents or whatever they call them come out and call out those boys? Let's
uh,
be honest.
but
but
Madam Moderator,
Yes.
just a minute. But PS, I'm for me, I'm convinced, just like you are, that those boys have been acting independently on their own. And I'm just saying, those are indisciplined boys.
yes.
Whoever is sponsoring them, if they are sponsored, is wrong. But I'm not saying PF is the sponsor of those boys. I'm not saying that.
We respect your opinion. As for me, I am 1,000% sure they are sponsored by the PF. Are you?
No, whatever. No, whatever. You see, the fact of the matter is, for me, I'm saying, if this is how we create legitimacy for stupidity, is when we attach someone important to the misbehavior of one person.
Leo ufike chongo bamdala kulikuisa.
I think between Deep Thinker and PS.
I'm muted most of the time.
Okay.
I think umwela. So
Okay.
what I'm saying, Chanda, for me, I don't want to create legitimacy of the stupidity of these boys who misbehave in the name of they are behind someone big. No. At times these boys just misbehave because of the Lunganjambo and those that have been wanting to do the Balose secession and stuff like that. They've been there from PF, they were there. In MLD, they were there. So I arrested them, sent some of them to prison. They are there, they're always there. But the point
I remember. Yeah, I remember. I remember.
At the moment that we are going to create a legitimacy around some political party that are sponsoring them, that is what they want. First, get them arrested. They'll tell you who's sponsoring them. Why are they not being arrested? Get them, they'll tell you if they are being sponsored, it will come out. But to say here, so there's a PF that is sponsoring them. When we are about to take care of them, where they even openly declare that no, we have now declared war. Who are they to declare war? Who are they?
That very statement is
That's a big question. Yeah. Very important question. Who are they?
PS.
Why should we address them to the political? But me, I refuse that.
PS Mukwai. Okay. Let's take out the boys for my sake. Let's take out the boys. What is your position on what the PF had to say about the president going to Western Province?
Okay. Let me tell you something. What the position was. This is my thinking. I have not communicated with them to know, but this is how I see it. The way I saw it and the way I'm still seeing it is that because the most of the people that you see from PF having to say that is because they've been in the government before. They've been in the government before. So that is what you see them state like no, don't allow the president to go in such an environment. Why is it that everybody, and I was telling that, why is it that the ministers from Western Province, who I'm supposed to be the first people to hear from, they are quiet? Why is the speaker quiet? Why is the honorable Sukutwane quiet? Why is Minutu quiet? Why is this quiet? Why are they not coming up with the press statement? The four of them, the entire Western Province, members of parliament plus the MPs, to discuss, to talk about it. Why are they quiet? Why are they quiet? Why are they tolerating this stupidity to go on from the people that are stating there? You remember what the other UPND campaign chairperson said? Me, I don't recognize Mwata Kazembe. Me, I fall under the Western Ditunga. What was that? Brenda Mwinde, something like that. Me, I only recognize my chief in Western Province. Did you hear what the Wapula members of parliament did? They went together, they had a press conference, they condemned that. They went after him, including members of parliament and ministers. Why are we quiet with this? For me,
the audio is awful today. PS, the audio is bad.
Katwishinga muli motoka shishibe kashum.
No,
Are you traveling
I saw
or?
him. He was in a park. I saw he was in some kind of a park or something.
Anyway, yes. Let me try to hide here and see how is it here.
That we Shivan. So
how
anyway,
how is it here? Do you still feel the wind?
Yeah, the wind is still there.
Okay. Let me move to the car.
But look, let's understand one thing.
Mm-hmm.
I think we need to educate people when it comes to Barroso land.
Mm-hmm.
Barroso land has always been a contention, like for the last I don't know how many years. And we know that it's not only Western Province. If we really look back in the maps, it takes over most of the Copper Belt and part of the Western and a little bit of the Central. So they want to reclaim that land and say this is our land. We want to be a sovereign state and we want to have our own leader, our own king. Now, these are issues that we need to start thinking and looking at because one, look at other countries. What has happened when things like that, like what's going on right now, what they're thinking, those little boys, they don't understand. This is the reason why Sudan right now, if you look at Sudan, it's been broken up into two. There's Northern Sudan and Southern Sudan. Okay? So why, if you look at it this way, if a country like Sudan can break the northern side, say, oh, we'll be dealing with our own business, you guys in the south do your own business, there's never been peace. There's never been, like, people are struggling. People are running away from that country because of that. Okay? Because people are fighting. They're fighting over land. Okay? Now, Kaunda, when Kaunda came in, he said, one Zambia, one nation. He knew why he needed to drill that information into every Zambian. Because if he didn't do that, there'll be war. We'll be like Sudan. We'll be like all these other countries. But just because of it, land, or maybe Mulanda a different language. You see?
I mean, I think on a lighter note, I think on a lighter note, the only productive thing that came out of Komboka this week is the announcement that Bembas and Lozi are now tribal cousins. That's the only productive
but it's true because you know what? We all came from the Luba land. We all came from Luba. See, because that's what I'm saying. Like, look, let's read these things. Let's understand it.
I mean, if we go back to the history, the Lozis were running away from Shaka. That's a fact.
Well, really, okay. Technically, there are two things here.
Yeah.
What we need to know is the time when Shaka was coming. That was at a later stage, but on the earlier stage, when people were coming into this land called Zambia, it was Luba. Okay, so Luba was a province, or well, let me just say it was central part of where Congo is. Let me just say, put it this way, and people from the northern circuit, from all these other countries, Egypt and all these other places, believe it or not, they were running from war and all that stuff. They came and congregated on one point, and it was called Luba. Now, why was it called Luba? It was called Luba because people didn't know where they were going. They were lost. That's when you see, if you go in the northern circuit, it became, people, they started building there in the northern circuit. Kings started coming there in the northern circuit, and they established themselves. By the time when Shaka was, killing everybody, running, people were running from Shaka, it was already established. And when in fact, here's the thing: the first eclipse that happened that time, they were crossing on the Zambezi River in the southern province. Right? And people were like, oh my God, there's an eclipse. And people were so scared. They're like, oh my God, let's just move our animals, because they had cows and everything. That's why the southern province has a lot of cows. Let's move. He's coming for us, So that's how they settled in the southern province. From the southern province, they started moving. And they went to the northern circuit. The northern circuit, they found these Bemba guys were so strong. They couldn't defeat them.
Right to the fair.
They
Yeah.
went to the eastern side.
Right to the fair.
And
Lucy.
then when they went to the eastern side, that's where they settled.
Yeah,
Okay, that's
Right
where
to the
all you
fair.
find
but
all the everybody
Madam
in the eastern
Moderator,
side, the Ngonis, the whatever, the Shakas, the relatives. That's where they are.
right to the,
Right to the fair. You're losing us. No, but
but
why grab a
Madam
history
Madam
class?
Moderator,
Well, yes.
if I may come in,
Yes.
I appreciate the history. I think where we are now is what does the future look like for our children, grandchildren, and
Here is for me. Here's a simple
so
answer to this. Forget about the history. Let's. The simple answer is let's put the Barroso thing to a vote. Let's put
uh,
it to a referendum.
I don't know. I don't. Yes,
I think that would be a
here,
quick fix
here,
because
here,
based on who comes up top, that who
here-
takes it all.
here's my suggestion on how we can fix it.
Uh-huh.
Just create a federal system where power is given to the kings of particular regions, but with some things having the Zambian government have control over some things.
That is even going to create more confusion because
No.
let me just come in here.
Hmm.
One, you already have people on the ground who don't support their kings, they don't respect their queens and kings. There's already confusion in the on the ground because I mean, let's just take for instance Southern Province. You tell me that Chief Mukuni want to be under Chief Monze or Chief Giganta or Chief Kwenuka. You tell me
No,
if we go by that route.
that will be up to Southern Province to either put it in a rotational form or whatever form. They can form their own governing system where they can vote for who runs as the king. The autonomy is like that, but the federal government will have to come with a plan on how that is done. So if Southern Province decides every king is given 5 years, then it goes on like that until if you keep winning, you keep winning, unless you put a limit or a cap to how many years you can be over it.
Ah, deep thinker, you're losing me. Bachelor Fair, you're losing me. We were simply talking about the shenanigans
But
in Barossa land.
this
You
this
gentlemen are
this
teaching
Imwe,
me
this
history.
this
I was trying to
Now
tell you, like, look,
I'm taking a civics lesson from deep thinker about how
no
we should
no no.
proceed.
The,
You're losing me.
but you see, the thing is, the Barros thing, we cannot talk about the incident that had happened this weekend in isolation. There
mm,
is a history behind this incident. And it's just unfortunate that when Kaunda was still in power, he was not interrogated to tell us exactly what the agreement was. Because he was at the center of
But
the
the
negotiations.
agreement, we have it in black and white.
No, 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 no. What you have in black and white is what causes confusion. The actual details, I don't think they're in black and white. That's why we still have the confusion. Because if it was that simple, we would have just gone back to that document and say, here.
I think we can go back to that document.
I think so.
I think this is an interesting discussion that can go on and on. Like I did say, it was I planned for an hour, and here we are, 1.5 hours later. When I have this
Sorry.
good, anyway, let's quickly. I think this is a discussion we really do need to bring a few of our lousy friends talk about it, just on like a special Barroso report. Because really, when you talk about the law, I mean the law, because Barroso, it's like Batufia was saying, it's not just Western Province. You're looking at parts of Copper Belt, parts of Central, parts of a little bit of Southern, and Northwestern. When you go to those regions, or even in Barroso land itself, you go to speak to Koyas in Mungu or Sesheke, and you ask them about Barosaland, they'll look at you and think you're trying to insult their intelligence, because for them they really don't understand Barosaland. All they understand is a country called Zambia. So anyway,
So Obakalinda,
yes.
I'm sorry. So we need to decide: are we looking at the colonial borders, or are we looking at the borders that were created after the negotiation between the Zambian government and Western Province? We need to
I
decide, because
well,
because the boundaries that were created at independence, I don't think includes the Copper Belt.
that's what I just said.
Yeah, but
Uh,
so we need to decide. If we decide and convince our Lozi brothers and sisters that this is why we're going by the inde- borders at independence, then we have a chance of convincing that common person.
the barrels. Yeah, I mean that's what I was just saying. Tip finger.
Well, here's the thing. I think this whole thing it's not really that complicated, really.
Oh, it is.
But here's what we need to understand. The president Wakaunda, he said one Zambia, one nation. Okay, so it synced in everybody's mind. Okay, the reason that slogan is very popular to this day is because everybody can identify to it, and everybody can say, "Look, I can marry a Lozi woman, I can date a Tonga man, because we're all Zambian." Now, if out of the crazy world of whatever imagination that you can ever think about, we became Zambia, and then Baroseland was Baroseland. Imagine this. You have people who are your relatives, and you have to cross borders to go to a different province. Or maybe we obviously ask for passport or whatever it was. Like, look, it's just making things complicated. Like, look, that's why a lot of people say, like, look, Abalozi, Vali Temwa, these are the reasons. Mama, people, the people they say that. I mean, it's not it's a hidden secret, but everybody
I,
say it.
All
I don't
right,
But
agree with that.
but here's the thing.
I don't agree with that
But here's
gentlemen.
the thing. I can tell you one thing.
I, I do
Me
not.
myself, when I was growing up, my personal friend that I was growing up with was a lousy guy. Very good friend. He used to tell me, like, look, Chanda. And the good thing I like about lousy people is this: they love themselves and they love the community.
Nothing wrong with that.
We when how we before going to school, I would pass through his house and I would find like 10 people at his home. I'm like, these people, like every time there were people at his house, like, it's my mom's relatives, his auntie, whatever. Like, wow. You see what I'm saying? They have that community. Okay, that's one thing I really like about the Lozi people. They have that community. They love each other and they want to stay together. Okay, and he even taught me, he said, look, Chanda, most people they don't even understand English. So when you want to come and see me, just say, oh, Mwinda Huteni. And when I say that, the Lozi little girl, she'll be like, oh, yeah, Huteni, yeah. They call him, he comes out, let's go to school. We go to school. You see what I'm saying? So,
I,
I mean, I've got nothing personal about the Lozi. The only thing I don't want is the BRE youth nationalists, whatever they call themselves, is trying to disrupt what the current government is trying to do.
I,
It's trying to rebuild and build and connect the country. And look,
Bachanda, at the
yeah,
end of the day, we need to ask ourselves, if those boys are fighting for Barosland to be an independent state, what is the position of the king? Because the king is the one who's supposed to control those boys first, and then the government also control those boys. So this is a much more complicated issue. than we might think here, because there haven't been a seriousness in sitting down to talk to the right people about what's going on in Jerusalem.
So, shall we then dedicate time and a day just to exhaustively talk about Jerusalem? Because this
Correct.
what here what we're doing is a
Correct.
scratch,
I
and
agree.
let's for right now put a lid on it until we can find experts to. Actually, I had hoped.
It-
I
but
had
I don't
hoped
want
that.
anybody going thinking that I'm for the secession of Jerusalem. No, I'm not.
Yeah. All right. Well, I was hoping my
No, no,
my
no, I don't think
handsome.
that.
I was hoping that my handsome Lozzy husband would be here today, but I guess he's still traveling. Anyway, Dr. Danny, hopefully he will join us next week or the week after. But let's move on. Shall we quickly talk about the acquittal of one former justice minister given Muvinda against corruption by the economics court this week? Anyone a quick word on that?
I'll go first.
Lest we are accused of not wanting to talk about our Ukwa friends when
I'll,
good things happen to them.
I'll go first.
Go ahead.
So I'm thankful that this has come up, so that these guys, the former government, can realize that now there is a justice system that works. If you are innocent, they'll let you go. If you are not, they'll follow you. This is how a government should run. Are you?
All right. Back to the fear.
No, it's a short what you call it, a short celebration, because SEC itself has said that look, they will look into it and they will take it to Supreme Court. So meaning that look, whatever decision was made, it's going to go at that higher level, and obviously um, there wasn't time enough for them to gather a lot of information. And when he was saying, the spokesperson said it, say, look, we might retry it again. It means they've obviously discovered more information. So that celebration, it's well, it's more like yeah, yes, you can celebrate for now, but you'll cry later.
Right. All right. As for me, just give me the convictions. Either that or give me the money. That's all I say. Give me the money. Okay, moving on. There won't be an EPL rant this week, but we can talk about because I mean there's nothing to talk about. Matuvi United won through VAR today. Liverpool Nyonyo won. We won yesterday, so it's all good within us. So there won't be any talk about that. But let's quickly talk about the sad story about the accident that happened in Osaka last week involving our celebrated soccer star, Renford Calabar. We wish him the quickest recoveries. I saw some pictures of him sitting up and smiling in bed at UTH today, so I think that's a good sign. Um, he's definitely making a recovery. But we should also highlight that, I think personally, I send my condolences to the family of that young lady he was with, um, last week, and they put her to rest, I believe, on Thursday. She leaves two kids behind. And I mean, from the rumors, it looks like alcohol was involved. Zambians and alcohol. What? Please. I mean, I am.
Not only Zambians, Madam Moderator.
I enjoy alcohol. I mean, I won't like. I mean, I enjoy a little wine here and there, a little, a little Ciroc here and there. But if I feel like I can't drive, Uber in Zambia they have Yango and what's the other one? Oh, Ulendo, I'm here. I understand they filed a bankruptcy. They couldn't match up to Yango, And there's another one somebody was telling me about called Unka. So
Did you say Uka?
Unka, I think it's like Unka. Yeah, deep thinker, don't be. Please remove your head from the gutter.
No, I just wanted to know. I just didn't hear. I wanted you to say it again.
No, oh, It's called Unka. Unka. So there's another one. Oh, come on now. Here he is showing us his visual once again. Yeah. Come on. So there are all these, cars or whatever you can order if you're drunk and to drive home or, safely. And also, Bachelor Fear, you men. Let me come back to Bachelor Fear. And I've just been reminded after bombasting us a few weeks ago, saying us women we love money too much. So Bachelor Fear, what was Renford Calabar doing with a married woman or otherwise occupied woman? Bachelor Fear.
Well, that's
Do
these
not
issues are always
support nonsense here.
yeah. But these issues, they're always complicated,
Why are they complicated?
because one, you never know who's who and what. Social media is has become like a den for proscripty, and everybody be like they're just on social media, and you know that there's somebody that you like, or you like their picture, they like your picture, and then you start DMing each other, and then you say, "Oh, let's meet, moment." But at the end of the day is this: we all are responsible for our actions. Okay, so that accident was very, very bad, and it was very unfortunate. But how did those people meet? That's one thing you need to know. It's all about social media. Now,
Are you looking at my mouth
one
right
thing I'm
now?
gonna go
Are you
a
looking
step
at my
further.
mouth right now?
Yeah, no, I'm gonna go a step further. I'm not gonna talk about that much, but what I'm gonna talk about is this: we have a problem in Zambia when it comes to driving and drinking. It's a very huge problem that needs to be tackled. Okay, it's not like here, me, I'll just book a taxi and go home. Okay, because I know I don't want to lose my license or whatever in my points. But ku Zambia, muntu uli yonsefi akorwa pa limit yako bati alaenda alensha na motoka. You see, those are the things we need to look at. We need to strengthen the laws when it comes to driving and drinking. Who has to strengthen? And there should be like penalties. When you lose your license, and if you lose your license, you can't drive. Ngatakuwa the license, then you can't work. So it needs to a license could know forever. It's more like an identity, of who you are. We gotta quit, Ngawalu say what happens? No, but you can't. But what? Oh, pay license you trevo quick change. How we know? But then you start tracking down. It's not a reliable person, Mama. So we need to see how we can work with those things. Number points. You need to work in terms of points. Well, what no accident and stuff. Start getting points. Or quarter accident, you lose points, and then go up a certain level. You can even lose your license. Lose a license. You cannot. It's not allowed. Tabako fe wakapukula. You enforce it. Uliensha moto katawete license. See. So those are the things we need to start really looking at and organizing ourselves, Mama. Ni to start avoid if you want to, because people will be scared. Mama, kawaya wana ukura ya shaenche. Well, book a yango like you said. Take me home. Bako tuwa. I don't go so, but why am wasn't the motor kayo why kunchi? You know?
Right on. You spot on, Bachelor Fear. Deep thinker.
So this is a cultural norm, and this is not only common to Zambians. Even here, it happens. People lose their licenses, but they still drive and cause accidents. So it still goes on and on and on and on like that. So I think the biggest problem that might be there back home, and it's also in South Africa the same thing. We have to get rid of corruption first, because those people with money, they can have their licenses suspended and they can bribe their way through. So, first of all, we need to tackle corruption. What happens to a police officer who receives a bribe? Make an example out of those people.
Uh-huh.
I'm sorry, my neighbor's dogs. So we needed to make sure even the bars, even the bars in Zambia, people don't start drinking at 10 in a bar, 10 a.m. in a bar. All those things have to be, you know, checked. And then it's stiffer penalties if you're caught driving while drunk. Have I lost everybody?
Hmm.
Did I lose everybody?
No, we
No,
can
no,
hear
no.
you,
We
man.
can hear
We
you.
hear
We
you.
can hear you.
Okay.
We can hear you.
So the impounding cars if you're drunk needs to be effective, and the police force must be very professional, no corruption at all, and no nepotism as well. We need to check those things before we can straighten up our society. That's my take. As far as the gentleman and the lady in an accident is unfortunate, I'm not going to blame it on extramarital status or anything.
Oh,
The-
here you
no,
go.
no, 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 no.
Another
I'm,
man,
I'm
another
going to say
man,
this.
another
I'm going
man
to say
supporting
this.
his male folk.
I'm going to say this. It's a lot of women, just like men in Zambia, that are not happy in their marriages. Some men are married and they leave their wives at home while they're running around with a concubine. It's not a scandal as when a woman is running around leaving the husband at home. So once we level the standards up, then we can have a conversation. But as long as you know, a young lady going with the two men, we associate that to prostitution. But a man,
Oh my
but
world! Oh my world!
but a man running around with the two women, he's the man. If that continues, then we are going to have a problem in our country. The man who has more than one woman should also be called a prostitute. Then we are even. I leave it alone.
And on that note, I will just say, to each his own. God for us, God for us all. And shall we conclude?
No, we can't until we talk about Man United because you
Nobody's
called us
talking
Matusi
about.
United. That's
I,
hurtful.
I just said that there won't be an EPO rant.
Not when it's Susi Arsenal fans. No, we gonna talk about it.
Nobody wants to talk about you winning. I mean, was that even a win
But
through VAR?
no, I'm going to speak to Chirufia, and please, Madam Moderator, listen and moderate.
Okay.
Chirufia,
Inquiry.
you know when you have, as a young man, you have a girlfriend and then you break up, you move on to another girl,
Mm,
but
mm,
you still concerned about what that girl is doing,
mm.
and you make it your business. That's how Arsenal fans are doing to Manchester United.
Yeah.
You are
Money.
so you are so in our business instead of moving on with your Arsenal business.
No,
Please
no.
leave
Ah,
us alone.
mwitube awe mdala wandi mwitubepesha. Mwitubepesha base no tefo twangala ifwe.
When did we call Arsenal names? Because your callers, Matupi
All
United,
the time.
all,
Let me tell you one thing about deep thinking. All my best friends are Manchester United fans. Okay? So I know what I'm talking about. Once if you have a Nandi, my Manchester United.
And what do they call Arsenal?
Okay? So tula amadezi ngayakale yale twaya mugutamba bola. Okay? Twaya natwikala ninfwala na Arsenal jersey umunandi nafwala Manchester jersey tulerumba nokurumba. You know, that's what it was. But here's the thing. Arsenal right now cannot be compared. But level of it, their ball. Cannot be compared to Manchester. Manchester, you're on a very low level.
We agree.
I'm sorry to
We
tell
both
you this.
agree on that one.
I'm sorry to tell you. That's why where you are. What position are you on the Premier League? What position are you?
No. But Chirupia, we understand that even data can show that. My question is, why do you call us names? We don't call you names. Never have.
You've been calling us names for the last, I don't know, 10 years.
Names like what?
Morning. Let me tell you one thing. I gave you an example. Abanandi once they were Manchester United. There was a period of time, Nishi, Manchester United was on top. Okay? It was playing and winning. Manchester. Customer. Every time we meet with you guys, what else? You see what I'm saying?
But you're not answering my
I just answered you. I just answered your
For
question.
how long are you gonna go back and
my
forth?
question is, you all call us Matuvi United. What names did we call you?
Arsenal.
You can
Arsenal.
ask Makalin about that. It's not me. It's not coming from me.
Arsenal.
Makalina is moderating, so she can't comment on that.
I'm telling you what you used to call us. You used to call us Arsenal. Arsenal.
Okay.
Yeah, so we're even.
We're even then.
Yes, we're even.
On that note, I'll be quiet because
Yes.
now I know what you
Moving
now I
on.
know what to call you.
That was what it's. Oh, John. Oh my. Why even did I even say that? God, I just walked into it. I walked into that one, actually. Yes. Anyway. Anyway, on that note, well, we have come to the end of our podcast this week. Next week, I won't be here.
Mkutandala.
Damn pajama. I'm not gonna be here next week. So
Mkutandala.
yeah, damn pajama. And guess who wants to come and talk about Arsenal? About what we are about to close. Mr. Kobe is coming here to come and propagate his lies on Manchester United.
Yeah.
Anyway, last minute. Anyway, we're done. We're done. Kobe, your final words. Oh, he's not even talking. Anywho, so I'm just announcing I won't be here next. I'll try. It's 20 hours. Just think about this thing. There might be load shedding to begin with.
Who knows?
Who knows what's gonna be happening, man?
Hey, who knows?
So I might be load shedded, so I won't be able to make it at 20 hours. So if I can make it, I'll be here. Otherwise, I'll be supporting you guys, and I'm very sure you guys are gonna do a great job. I'll see you after 4 weeks.
4 weeks.
I'm going to put two shots. I'm going to rest.
Now, what guys?
I'm going to rest. I have to go to Zambia for at least 4 weeks. That's the minimum I can stay. I'm going to ticket here to do like.
Now, sang guys.
I'm a guy's Vegas. Pofia, but Kari Nani, Deep Thinker not if you have more than one that's what Deep Thinker said to me.
It doesn't matter whether you're male or female, a boy or girl, woman or man. It don't matter.
Oh my God!
Ndivakombe ndivanani avari apa?
He's not even answering, right?
Hey,
Kunyanya
Kuku, how are you?
yamiti Ndivakombe.
Sorry I'm late. How are you?
We're good. We're good. How are
Sorry
you?
for joining in late.
Oh, as usual.
I was still celebrating our victory, you know.
Oh my
Yeah.
goodness. That's all he came to talk about.
My
He
bad.
came to
What
talk about
victory?
specifically about Matuvi United. Give him his flowers. Now
Yeah.
VAR helped you. As some people call it, VAR helped you.
Well, you've ascended to where you are today because of it.
No, we don't.
Mone nari byeva vakombe nje. Look, let's meet Premier League.
No problem.
And then you're gonna see
You
how
you be like any other team at the end of the day because you never win. You are known as a hype team.
Oh,
You are noisemakers. We need you.
Okay.
When was the last time you won the UEFA Cup? When was the last time? Do you even remember?
No. Here's the thing. Forget about
answer the
UEFA.
question. Answer the question. When was the last time you won?
Okay, let me answer you this.
It's
The
gonna be a
last time
long
that we
answer.
won the UEFA. No, we haven't won the UEFA like in the last
That's a short
a
answer.
long
20
time.
years.
Okay?
Let's just
20
put
years,
the fact
Devil.
that 20 years.
So, but look, here's the thing. We are a team that's very pride and young. When we're starting off, I want to say, oh, we know it's a young team and stuff like
Young.
that. But look, the Premier League has actually gained from us. If you see players from different
Is that what you have in your forums? Is that what you talk about?
Which forum?
The Arsenal forums.
No, I don't know. I'm not. I don't know about
What do you mean we've gained from you? What do you mean? What have you
It
offered?
means this: you can find an Arsenal player, young person, in each and every Premier League team.
And
okay? That's what I'm saying.
And
By Manchester, look, by Manchester United, your way of tactics and how you play the football is outdated. You need what was your coach?
you don't even know him, Tefio.
What about
So
talking about is like you got a girlfriend and then she runs off with another man and then you say, well, we see what we do and we good team because they get their women from us or our men from us. That's what Chiruke is saying.
Hey, I know, right?
Monen, okay, let me tell you one thing. As where we
Arsenal
are,
supporters, you started watching
let's talk
football
about now.
15 years ago, or
Let's talk
maybe
about
10.
the future. Let's talk about the past or whatever. Let's talk about now. Where is Arsenal now on the table? And where is Manchester United on the table?
We are
Answer me.
rebranding.
Matuvi United is number 10.
We are rebranding.
We are not number 10. We're rebranding. That's a fact. How many times have you had this hype and you've never won? For you guys, even when the league ends, you play a friendly game, when you win that friendly game, you think you've won the World Cup. It's unbelievable.
Oh my God.
What position are you on the Premier League?
Number 10.
6.
Number 10.
You cannot be
7.
number 6.
Number 7. We're number 7.
Okay. What is Arsenal now?
No, what will
no. Answer. Where is Arsenal?
Well, you're joint with Man City. You have the same points.
Where is Arsenal?
You are the same points. Listen.
No.
I'm about to answer you. I'm about to answer you. You have the same points the Man City. Liverpool is the game behind
the position of Arsenal? Just answer me. It's a simple question.
Yeah, you're on top with Man City, right?
No. There's you cannot all be one at one. The number one. What number?
Let me just break it down to you so you understand. You have the same points the Man City. You beat City on the goals. right? You beat City on the goals. Liverpool is a point behind you guys. There is no
No, no,
way
no,
you
no,
guys
no,
Question
win
is,
no,
the
it's a
league.
Makombe.
simple
It's the
question.
other way.
You're
The
number
question
one,
is very
so let's
simple.
leave it alone.
You are number one. You have the same points never
Good.
No,
Liverpool.
no, yes.
You have the same points never Liverpool. Man City is a point behind. Tamawi napo imwe. You are a feel good team. Hello, most of your supporters started watching football 2010. So you have no history of the game.
Oh,
Oh
You are
my
hype.
God.
Eh?
Oh
in
my
fact,
Mwaba
God.
Gen Z, wama
I
support
can tell you
time.
Makombe.
one thing.
Makombe.
Let me,
Mwaba Gen Z, wama support.
Ngamatampo kuleta mu history. I'm gonna tell you one thing.
Go ahead.
Me growing up, my grandparents were Liverpool fans.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? Actually, those times,
Mm-hmm. My father was a
quiet
Liverpool supporter
Saturday
too.
night football. Okay? I don't know if you remember those days.
Big League
Quiet,
Soccer,
the
I'll take it
ZNBC.
further beyond you. Big League Soccer, for Twalitam. In the early
Whatever it was.
80s.
No, actually, you would turn on the TV. My grandparents and now they would say, yes. In Square, John Barnes, all those
Ian
players.
Rush.
Yes, Ian Rush. Okay? Me, they were managed to inspire. I was like, you know, and I would see it automatically became a Liverpool fan out of that. And then after Nakula Nemwini, I became, they said, however, Liverpool, let me go and play and join Arsenal.
When was that?
Time
2014.
Henry, the
When was
golden
that?
era.
2014.
What?
When was that? 2014.
Oh, that one.
Anyway,
Let me
gentlemen,
tell you one thing.
gentlemen, we are
Bottom
so
line.
done. We are so done. Would have been
That's
done 30 minutes
a
ago. We've been done 30 minutes ago. We can't go on forever. We have to shut this down. So your final words, Twaran Deba Kombe, and then Deep Thinker, but to fear in that order.
Okay. What do you want me to comment on?
Anything on your mind? Okay, but I just that my issue. So go ahead.
We're never short of words.
Knock
Well,
yourself out.
I like where we are with the president. I like what the party is doing. I love our vision, the direction we're taking the country. I like what the president did in Kwacha. Some people might not understand it, but having lived in Kitwe and in Kwacha East before, I understand what that means. And the difference between us and Ukwa is we are playing people politics. We're answering the people's cries. That was a campaign promise that the president made when he was candidate. He went back and he has done it. That is an area that for 50 years has never seen a flushable toilet. 1,600 households have been affected, totaling to over almost 15,000 people on average. If you talk about averages in Zambia, 15,000 people have been affected. I like the video that's circulating of a man in Kwacha who says, from now onwards, I don't even care what the president does because this for me, he has scored. Because I am 50 years old. I was born in this area, never had a toilet that has had flashing water. Now I do. That's the kind of care that the president has and the party UPND. Ukwa guys are mistaken. They think building shiny buildings is touching people. They don't know that the small things are the things that move people. So the president, and I love the president, he's always 100 steps ahead of PF. They laugh at him when he goes to his farms. I like how he cross-checked Edith Nawak. He said, Edith is always mocking me, keto that, keto that. But after mocking me, she goes to ShopRite, buys meat that is supplied to ShopRite by my farm. So the president teaches you the basics. I like where we're going. We're unlocking the copper belt. Now the 22 MPs, the 22 MPs, I think we have about 3 seats there or 2. The others are on the lookout because Copper Belt, we're grabbing the Copper Belt as UPND in 2026. So big up to the party.
You hear Manchester United fans. Anyway, moving on. Oh, I think we've lost Deep Thinker. Oh, here he is. Deep Thinker, you want to do your final words for the day?
Yes, it's very unfortunate that we try to control where the president can go. I mean, there was news that he went to officiate a flushing toilet somewhere, and people had the issue with that. For me, I saw that as a president for the people. You go where the people are, whether you are going to officiate the opening of a toilet or whatever. That's giving a common person that idea that he is my president. He showed up. So leave the president alone. Let him do what he does. However, the Barrow's establishment, Barrow's issue needs to be brought. We need to bring that to the table and bring people and agree, explain things the way we want them explained to everybody so that we can be part of the One Zambia, One Nation. As long as these children are being ignored, there is going to be a problem because they're children now, they're youth right now. In 10 years, they're the ones that are going to be part of the government. So we need to hear them out, give them a voice, and then the Lewanika needs to make a statement so that he can convince those children and tell them what he knows about the Barroso establishment. On that, I yield.
Batusia.
Yeah, well, thank you very much, Bakalinda. I think on my final remarks, I would say that look, we are an organization at the end of the day, we're an organization, and we believe and trust what the current government is doing, and we support the current government. That's it. So, if say when it comes to the politics of within internal, external, and all that stuff, I think let's reach out to each other. Okay? If you have an issue, you say, okay, fine, Chanda said something that's not sitting well. You can reach out to me and tell me. All right? I'm not, whatever. You can reach out to me. So those are the things I'm thinking. Like, look, in the chapter in the next coming future, well, let's organize ourselves in a way that we can reach out to each other and for each other. Let's not annihilate each other and try to make ourselves look bad. Because most people, I don't know, but this is just volunteer work anyway. We're not here to get paid. We're just doing this just for the sake of loving, what we love in the country. So there's no stake in it. So, if somebody comes up and you tell me, no, boy, let's do this way. Let's do it this way. Everybody's got my number. Everybody's got my email. All right? And whatever. Let's build each other. Let's build each other. That's what I'm saying. That's it.
Right. And on that note, Renee, until the next episode, we gotta go. Keep the faith.